Hello out there, welcome to my channel. Today in this video tutorial we will see how we can integrate payment gateway with our React Native application. This is a very simple application where we are getting some kind of product information and some sort of a payable amount which is displaying in INR. So once you hit proceed to pay button, then it will take you to a page where you need to provide your card information, and once you continue with that, then you will get some sort of response which is like success or failure. So this is the goal of our application. Before moving forward the coding section, I would like to draw your attention to understand how the payment system is working with the application. Okay, so this is the payment flow, general normal payment flow. I'm not going to pretend like this is the ultimate payment flow and everywhere it is running. This is not like that. This is a kind of rough idea about how the basic payment stuff is working. It's a combination of the three units. Number one is a front end. It may your mobile application, it may your web application, or it may some other media. Right. Number two is backend, which may microservice or it may monolithic server. Number three is a payment gateway, which is responsible for handling to collecting the payments from client and interacting with the bank, and it will give some kind of like transactional information. So that is the stuff. How the front end is working, how front end is communicating with the payment gateway and the backend, and how the whole payment system is achieving the final goal. So let's understand this thing first. Number one, here front end is sending a request to backend, which is a kind of the create payment request, and where it may contain transaction ID, amount, API token, and some sort of other parameters also it may include. It depends on the payment gateway requirement. And as a response, the backend will provide some sort of encrypted client secret. It's a combination of transaction ID, merchant ID, amount, timestamp, and other parameters. It's always very depends on the payment gateway, and that the encryption logic it may be different. So once the front end is received the client secret from the backend, and it is creating a search, which is by calling to payment gateway. It may contain client secret and transaction ID, amount, the card informations, and email, phone number, and some other parameters also. It depends on the payment gateway. So that the create search is happening through sometimes it's through SDK if it is from mobile application, or if the SDK is not available, then we can some sort of web request also you can use to create this search. Right after entering the card information, and where you need to authorize your payment by entering some sort of 3D secure code or some other password, which is you may set as per your card. And after that, the payment gateway once received all those things and payment is authorized, then it is sending some success and failure event to your backend. As soon as receive that the specific event, the backend will acknowledge those events to the payment gateway, like by confirming this payment has been done or not. After that, the front end again it will interact with your backend to get the status of the payment. Okay. And after that, you need to check the status through your backend, where you can get some response. It's a kind of transaction ID or payment status, payment is done or payment is declined or something that you will receive from your backend. If you are interacting with SDK here from the payment gateway, you will get back some pages where you can see directly your payment is done or not. But for safer side, application is always doing some sort of the check status API through backend. So this is the basic idea, exactly the payment gateway, how it is working. In our application, we will use Stripe. So how Stripe is working in this scenario, let's check it out. So here in this diagram, your mobile application sending your credit card and your customer details to the Stripe, and Stripe is authorizing those payment and all those things, confirming from the bank, and it is giving token to search the API. Then we are just sending this token to our web server, where I told you earlier in this application, like here. So here in this create payment section is happening directly with the Stripe, rather than going through our backend. Here backend will call some sort of search API, where it will send the token and the product information, which is we will sending from here, like what kind of product we have purchased, or what are the stuff, or what are the details. This web server will communicate with the Stripe. It will create the customer. If it is not created, then it will search the specific amount based on that the specific authorized token. So once it is success or failure, whatever it is done right there, then it will give it back. Stripe will give you back a transaction response, and those transaction response we will give it back again to the application. So this is the thing we will try to achieve. Alright, so right before moving forward with the source code, I want to show you something which is extremely necessary. First of all, you need to have a Stripe account. So you can go to the stripe.com, then you can create your own, and I do have my one. So I'm going to log in here. Okay, so this is my account where you can see this is public key and this is the secret key. So I'm going to turn on my test data. This is the overview of the Stripe account. So where you need this public key and the secret key also. This is the API reference we will use to make our backend part. For front end, we will use Stripe.js because for React Native there is no any official SDK providing by Stripe. Maybe some of the other SDKs are available, but that is not official. Personally, I don't prefer to use the unofficial stuff for specifically payment gateways. So we will build our own. Alright, so just follow along with me. So what we will do now, we will create our project quickly here. Okay, that's great. So our app is created. Let's open the project in code editor. Good. So this is our entry file. So a couple of more dependency we need to install. What I will do, I will install all those things quickly. Okay, so these are the two dependencies required: Axios and React Native Web View. So it is installed. Now what we will do, we will just we will start our application here. So our application is running. So now what we will do, we will create some kind of components right here. First of all, we will create a directory which is called src. Alright, so let's utilize this payment screen in app. So we don't need all those things here, and unfortunately we don't need the style also here. So what we will do, we will import the payment screen. Yeah, now as you can see, this is displaying properly right here. Good. So in the payment screen, couple of things we need here. First of all, here we need to have, which is we will receive from our payment page once the payment is confirmed. We need couple of more states, which is called state. It will be false, where we will determine the payment. Are we making payment or not? After that, we need to have something which is called payment status. This payment status will change during the during making payment. It may be it will dynamic, like payment is initiated, or payment is getting verified, or payment is waiting for confirmation, some kind of stuff. It will display right here. That's why it is required. Okay, good. We will create some product here. So this is a test payment, so we are just keeping some very tiny amount. Now we will create a function here which will responsible for receiving the payment response from the card page. Now right before these things, we will create our component here. So what we need here, we will use web view to execute our payment request, so which will be reached to Stripe, and it will request with some sort of parameters which is providing from this payment screen in terms of card information we will provide from here. First of all, import. Here in the web view, we will inject some JavaScript. So that JavaScript content will take care of a communication between the React Native and web view. That is required. Now we will declare a function which will responsible to receive the data from web view. Okay, so our web view is configured properly. Now we need to test it whether it is working or not, right? Yeah, as you can see, this is displaying right here. Now our web view configuration is done. Now we need to check whether our web view is properly able to communicate with our React Native or not, because why it is necessary, we will use Stripe.js right here. So once the proper communication is done with the Stripe, it will give the response on the HTML page, which will execute inside the web view. So we need to get somehow the response to our React Native application. Okay, so what we will do here, we will declare a button here. It is saying hello from React Native. That's good. That's a good sign. So now what we will do? Now we will replace this HTML content with some different content, which is I took from Stripe.js. As you can see here in the Stripe JavaScript Stripe.js API. These are the stuff. Okay. So what I will do, I'm going to copy this stuff. This is the HTML page. Okay, inspect. So these are the stuff it will display inside the HTML content. The design as per your requirement, you can design it, right? Okay, so here in this content we need to replace something which is we will be received from our props. Let's call const. We will declare one function also here. It will call our check status, this check status method from here. So what we will do, props on check status along with the response. Good. So this amount it will go here. Where it will go? This card element. No, remove these things. Or we can put this one. This backtick is not required here. Good. So where this required? Okay, product info. And we need to use our Stripe ID, which is we can get it from here, from our account, right? This is public key. This public key is required to communicate from the client, and this secret key will be required to communicate from the microservice or backend. So that is we will do later on. So last is just copy these things, okay, and go here. Now some more modification is required over here. So that will be INR, that's perfectly fine, but this amount will go with our amount, which is we have received in top of this this component, which is called amount. So this amount we need to multiply by 100. This is the way they want to send the money, send the amount of the money. This is the way they need the format of the amount. So what is going on right here? On the top of this page, as you can see, these are the styles, right? And here on the product informations, we are just passing this product information which is received from the props, and the amount also the same. And here these are the other card information. These are the card informations which is we are capturing from user. Okay, the zip code you can send it or you can omit the zip code, that is up to you. So but they suggest that if it is possible, try to send the zip code to get rid from the fraud situation. So in my case, I'm just hiding this postal code right here, and these are the some of the style which is you can do it, and you can get the whole source code, whole stuff from here in GitHub. Okay, they have a very nicely documented source code and example stuff is there. So I just picked up my one from here also by doing little bit R&D, and here Okay, now this is the time to give a try. Here in payment view we need to pass something which is called on check status, will be on check status, and products will be and product will be our cart info dot description, and amount will be our amount cart info dot amount. That's good. Let's check it out. Yeah, so this is now displaying, right? Whatever the product information we are passing right here, it is displaying right there. So this is a very simple thing. And as you can see, this is card holder name. Also I can put my name, say, and now this is the test card, which is gonna be like 4242. Yeah, and you can enter any number, like 21. They said like you can enter 0, 12, 21, and CVV will 1, 2, 3. So we can initiate the payment, but we need to do a little bit design in terms of like handling response and all those things. That is pending. So that is we will do a little quick. So what we will do here, in the payment screen here, right before return the elements, we will create one more function which is called the payment UI. The payment UI will take care of visibility of our components. All right, in your case, if you wish to use different components for different pages, then you can do it, and you just go ahead. So in my case, I'm just doing it in a single inside a single component. So let's make it a little quick. I'm checking, like, if it is not make payment, then it will show you, so to make payment. Else it will check like whether response is available or not. If response is not equal undefined, if response is available, then it will show the payment status. Okay, so what is the current status? Else it will load our payment, this view, right? This view it will load here, so where we can see our card page. If the payment is not done, we can see our card page. That's good. Here what we will do here, we will create a view. This response, once we receive the response from here, from web view, it is getting back the response, then it will set response right here. Okay, and this part is done. So here in the make payment part, we need to do something. So what we will do is just to copy paste this part here. Good. Wow, but background is kind of yellow. Sorry, background is green. So that green we need to remove it from here. Okay, so once you click proceed to pay, then it is displaying the card number and all those things. So what we will do now, now our next part, we need to send this information to the backend, where backend will get verify the stuff, and it will get back to you. Okay, so what we will do here, so here we need to import Axios first. So I have already built my backend server, which is already running in my local machine. So the source code I will upload on GitHub, so at least you can see the backend part also, how it is working. Okay. So this is my local machine address, so I'm gonna copy this one. If you are looking for, like, how we can run our backend part also, that is also I will show you. Here I'm switching to my backend part, like now we will pass our parameters. That first of all, email that we need to collect the user email. That is not mandatory, but for safety purpose, if it is possible, you can collect it and you can send it to Stripe for creating the customers for user transactions. So here I will pass my email ID. Our token will be our response, which is gonna be like in a payment response. Here in the payment view, once you receive the response from the Stripe, we are sending these things as a string. Okay, so that is, we need to parse it here right before you utilize it. So what we will do, we will parse it let. Paid. If it is paid, then this paid parameter will available inside the response from the Stripe once you call it through backend. Okay. Then if paid is true, then else. Again, we are just putting these things, payment field, our payment field. The reason we will get it, you can customize this message, depends on the response, but for a while I'm just keeping this way. So payment status will be payment success. That's good. So this is done now. Right, so now we will give it a try. Okay, so why we are passing these things right here, and that I will show you here. First of all, let me go to the source code. So this is the source code of the backend part, because this is not a backend tutorial, so I'm not including this. Okay, this Node.js part. So maybe in some different tutorial I'll explain in brief. But for your convenience, I will upload this source code on GitHub in the same directory. You can find it right there to play around. So this is the Stripe module, which is I have imported right there, and I'm just creating a new instance of the Stripe. So this is my key, and this key will be no more available mostly. So I'm requesting you just use your own right here. And after that, so this is the module UUID I'm just using right here, which will create a new unique ID, which is called idempotency key required by Stripe. So this will make sure, like, your transaction will not gonna be duplicate, right? So this is right there, and once we receive these things from the server, like the email, product, and auth token, which is we are passing right here, email, product, and auth token. Good. We are using the same informations to create customer. First of all, it will create a Stripe customer by using email ID and token ID. That's why I told you that email ID will be necessary right here. And after that, it will search the transaction depend on the token ID, whatever it is done by user, right? But here also we need to pass the amount from it will be like total amount into 100. Okay, which is gonna be like in Indian currency, it's gonna be paisa, or in other currency it's gonna be like cent or something else. Okay, so customer ID will be same, which is customer ID we will receive from here right after create the customer ID, and email we will pass it from the same email ID, and the product description which is we have received as a request, and the card information the same thing which is we are receiving from the token. Okay, and address also will be same. Okay, once this is done, then it will give the response, and it's the same response I'm just giving back to the front end. All right, this much only. All right, so not to worry, I'm gonna upload this source code also in the GitHub in the same directory. You can find it. Good. So I hope you got a little bit understanding about the API part also. So now what we need to do, we will give a try, but right before we need to check like whether this on check status is getting called or not. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, perfectly fine. Let's go to the payment view. Okay, so we need to hook up this payment check status right here. Good. So let's on check status, and we will pass the data. Good. Okay, why it is getting failed? Because what it's saying like evaluate response data. Okay, oops, I'm using this response data, so this is not should be response data. This should be like Stripe response data. Okay, this is Stripe response data. And give a try once more. I'm going to control refresh, read the page. Okay, just clean it first, clean it. Here also it can be clean. Now proceed to pay. Card number again. This test card number. $12.21 1 2 3. Done. Now pay now. Waiting for confirmation. Yeah, have you seen this payment is success now, right? So here now payment is success. It is going to this case, which is called this case, right? Here it is displaying the payment success. Depends on this success response, you can proceed further with your products or your order or whatever it is right there. So here I will show you something over in response. Okay, this is the response exactly. I'm just printing out from the backend part. So here you can get a complete stuff like receipt URL also, which is you can download the payment receipt, or you can send it to user. So this is the user URL. All right. Okay, so I think you got the complete idea how it is working and what are the scenarios. Let's check it out in our dashboard. Is that the payment is properly done or not? So definitely it's a test data. Okay, so go to the payment and success payment. Now have you seen we have attempted to payment, right? In first one it was succeeded, but we done little bit typo, that's why we have not received the proper response. But in second time, have you seen this is ₹1 payment is done, and along with whatever the response. All right, so I hope you got the complete idea about like how we can integrate the Stripe payment gateway with the React Native. And there are a lot of payment gateway, different payment gateways are available where they are providing SDKs also. Or if their SDK is not available, you can do much more good stuff with like in the same way which is I have explained. If you wish to learn more about the Stripe other stuff, then you can go check it out, their GitHub account, and you can get tons of example source code. Okay, if you are not interested with this model, then you can look for substitute also. Here I found something on web. This guy, he is done these things with some different API or different SDK that is called Tipsai Stripe. So that is one kind of the SDK which is providing the same thing. As I told you, there is no official SDK available for React Native from Stripe. So if you wish to know more about the Stripe stuff, like backend part and frontend part, there are a lot of things are available. You can check it out and you can play around with, right? Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like this video tutorial. If you really like this tutorial, then give me a thumbs up and subscribe my channel, and there are a lot more interesting topic will come. Your encouragement really matter for me. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.